Digital equity is a critical issue for technology integration. Although there are multiple equity issues, I would like to discuss gender bias and how this impacts the use of technology both in the classroom and in the workplace. What are the influences that make us pick one activity or course of study over another? Is it genetics and innate wiring? Are we exposed to different toys and expectations and subtle bias from the time we are born? I can repair a washing machine. I can change the oil on a car. I just don't like it very much. Is it because of the way I was raised, or do I really just not like taking things apart? I like science and problem solving. How do we get to where we are, and does the bias in our educational system push us one way when we should take a different path? Solomon and Allen propose that increasing dependence on technology and increasing diversification of the population contribute to the significance of the digital equity issue. Inadequate knowledge of technology can limit career options for women and limit business growth if the intellectual resources these women possess are not to be recognized or properly utilized in the workplace. Significant work is required to eliminate the bias against females in educational technology. Ann All wrote in Gender Bias in Tech that while women comprise 46% of the workforce in America, they only hold 25% of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs. She also reported that women earning college computer degrees decreased from 37% in 1985 to 18% in the mid-2000s. Why is gender equity important? In Digital Equity by Solomon, we read, "To be prepared for today's digital society, all students must be able to find, understand, and evaluate information. They must be able to continually discern, adapt, and learn." According to Solomon and Allen, 60% of jobs require skills with technology, and people who use computers on the job earn on average 43% more than other workers. In our existing educational technology model, boys tend to have content and critical thinking work on the computer, while girls tend to have drill, practice, typing, and social networking activities on the computer. These differences in experience with the technology can lead to limited career opportunities and limited earning potential for the girls. This issue is important enough that a Gender Bias Elimination Act was introduced in Congress in September of 2007. Although it didn't pass, the act brought the issue of gender bias to the forefront on Capitol Hill. Additionally, technology has been referred to as a second language, and those who don't learn this language are at educational, economic, and social disadvantages. According to Solomon and Allen, technology has the potential to level the playing fields for all students, but they caution that it can also increase inequity. These authors state that disadvantaged students learn to do what the computer tells them to do, while the more affluent or tech-savvy students learn to tell the computer what to do. They indicate that girls are often underserved by technology and are frequently bombarded by media messages telling them to focus on appearance, clothes, makeup, etc., rather than showcasing their intellectual capabilities. Electronic and visual media play a role in shaping our identities, and common stereotypes exist in various media that suggest that girls cannot become scientists, mathematicians, or engineers, and that computers are for boys. While TV programs may perpetuate stereotypes, many programs now show women as scientists, mathematicians, physicians, computer experts, etc. In addition to broadcast media, universities and other organizations have developed programs to encourage junior high and high school girls to pursue careers in these fields. Solomon writes that we have to carefully define equal treatment for males and females. We must make sure that the software, activities, and websites we use don't reinforce stereotypes such as dating and fashion for girls and violence in sports for boys. Kaplan writes, "Bias may not be the only reason behind women's underrepresentation in science, math, and engineering. There may be innate gender differences." Dr. Simon Baron-Cohen stated that men are more drawn to systems-based operations than women, and that women are more likely to prefer and be better at empathy-based activities than men. Dr. Spelke, a psychologist, counters the above claims by citing research which shows that core cognitive and motivational patterns in women and men are much the same, and that they play no part in the smaller number of women than men in science, math, and engineering. Owens, in Are Girls Victims, also disagrees with Kaplan and Baron Cohen and asks an excellent question. If their beliefs or theories are true, why do students, both male and female, in China and other countries perform equally as well in areas of math, science, and education and technology? In these countries, all students are required to take the same courses, and teachers must encourage girls as much as boys to pursue rigorous courses. These authors suggest that when girls in the United States self-select out of math, science, and computer technology, they are making decisions that will affect the rest of their lives. Girls need female role models as mentors, and they need opportunities to interact with women in the community who work in technical and non-traditional fields. To provide a couple of examples of gender bias, when I was about 12 or 13, I was told by a male veterinarian that I wouldn't be able to be a veterinarian because I was female, and veterinary schools did not accept women. I could be a science teacher, but not a scientist. I couldn't do real science. A research group, Children Now, found that in the top 10 best-selling computer games, women generally were bystanders or secondary characters in these games. 86% of black women in computer games were victims of violence, and there were no examples of Hispanic female characters in these games. Some ways to address the issue of gender bias include educating teachers so that they become more aware of the subtle bias that exists in their classrooms. Teachers must design lessons that challenge females and males in the class and require all members of the team to rotate through specific team responsibilities. Educate the educational technology teams so that they can critically evaluate software and identify bias before using that software in the school. The curriculum development team must strive to develop curriculum that is gender neutral. Parents, teachers, and counselors must stop giving girls easy outs when a subject is too hard and encourage them to take courses in the areas of math, science, and computer technology. Graduation requirements need to be more rigorous and require specific math, science, and technology-based courses for all students. Strong female mentors and role models need to be identified in the community, and opportunities must be developed for girls to interact with these women. So the question of the day: do we select our chosen careers because of innate wiring, or are we exposed to bias which ultimately shapes our choice?